Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another broadcast on the Christendom Strategist channel. This is actually the second time I had to run the broadcast because I'm experiencing some audio. But hopefully they are resolved now. I'm going to go ahead and check up on it before I get too deep into the topic here. As you can the title, this is a very provocative broadcast, and the title is going to be a rather provocative broadcast. However, the title is probably the most provocative element of it, and I think I'm going to justify the title as it progresses. So, as you can read by the title, it's called "Trump Sells Out America," uh, and the reason that I call it that is very simple. If you are not aware, the early hours of the morning, a few hours ago, we entered into a pointless war of choice, not a war of necessity. A lot of the state propaganda is going to hinge on the idea that this is a war of necessity, that this is a defense war. It absolutely is not. Essentially, what happened is that we, in conjunction with Israel, because of course it's in conjunction with Israel, um, we struck Iran, and I've got the story on this. I've got the source from antiwar.com. This is a place where I go to get my geopolitics news because it's from a right wing libertarian non interventionist perspective, although they allow other columnists from other, sort of schools of thought, but that's who founded the site. Um, so it's pretty reliable, but yeah, so we've struck Iran in a bombing campaign on their capital to affect regime change. This is not in our interest. This is a total betrayal, total South America. But I think I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself, so I'm going to go and explain sort of the story, the facts on the ground, and then we're going to give the analysis of it. So before I do that, though, I do want to say if you have anything to say on this matter, or you want to join the live stream and discuss the situation, you have your own thoughts. I'll be letting people in to do so, and I will also be checking chat. So if you don't want to join, you can obviously just put whatever it is that say in the chat, but just be aware that the option to come onto the live and present your own opinion does exist. So, all right, let's go ahead and get into the story. So, it says the headline quote: U.S. Israel launch war on Iran. Israel says the goal regime change in Tehran. This is their capital. The U.S. and Israel have started an aggressive war against Iran, and Tehran has retaliated with against Israel and American military bases in the Middle East. In a video posted to Truth Social Saturday morning, President Donald Trump announced the beginning of military operations against Iran. Trump called on the Iranian people to rise up and seize power from their government. The president also stated that the war may result in American soldiers being killed. Here's the X post, as it calls it. I call it her, but you know. Somebody says in chat, damn, I didn't actually think America would do that. I don't know why this is surprising to anybody. I mean, do people really think that the 12-day war of last year was just going to be the end of it? No. The story was the way that we got sold into this war, and actually, I think it'll be helpful to play the president's address on this matter after we read through the story, because we can kind of go through it point by point and give our response analysis. But we were told into that first war in the summer because of the threat of nuclear weapon possessing Iran. Now, that is not a threat to the United States. It just isn't. Okay? And people who say otherwise are really acting out of hysteria and not out of any kind of well-formed opinion. And I'll go into that as the stream goes on. But, okay, it says, Israeli officials, the goal of the war is regime change in Tehran. The goal is to create all the conditions for the overthrow of the Iranian regime. So this obviously we know whose interests this serves. Okay, we all know it. Everybody needs to understand, and they need to realize that this is being done on behalf of a foreign power to further their aspirations in their own region. This should not be controversial. This should not be remotely in question. Okay, let's see. What do we got from the chat? I see some more here. How do you think this is going to end? The way I think this is going to end is, well, hopefully not the worst case scenario, which is like a war, like an actual great power war. I think the question really should be what comes next. What is going to happen in the immediate days following this? Is going to be retaliations. It seems like there are retaliations going on right now. How effective that's going to be, God only knows. But I think the question should be what comes next. Hopefully, this ends in a similar fashion to the 12-day war, where we just kind of did a thing and then we stopped. But I don't really think that is the case. And I also think that this is just going to be yet another regime change intervention in the East, because apparently we just can't get enough of those. We need more. Jim says there's certainly not a nuclear threat to mainland U.S. as of now, but it's impossible to deny the power, at least regionally, in a space where we definitely want to maintain control. Well, I think it's not really about us maintaining control. I think it's about Israel maintaining control of that region. I don't really think it's about us. I don't really think we stand by antagonizing Iran in this way. By the way, your audio is really patchy. Actually, thank you for telling me that. I'll try to address that if I can. Oh yeah, I'm seeing what you're talking about. It seems to be an internet issue. It's cutting me out here. Let's see if we can do anything about that. All right. As we essentially are Israel, and Israel is us, so I think it's kind of useless to try and make foreign power separation here. Yeah, well, I make that separation because I don't think that should be the case. Now, obviously, that's in contrast to what the actual policy of the U.S. government on this matter is. So they've chosen to identify themselves so closely with Israel. I don't think we necessarily have to do it. Because, like, I think by that logic, this would then become a war of necessity, not a war of choice. And I think it's absolutely a war of choice. Um, let's see if my audio improved anyway. I'm gonna be silent for like a second or two just to hear it out. It seems fine. All right. All right. Let's get back to the site here. We are targeting Iran's or all of Iran's political and military leadership, past, present, and future. They continued. The development also depend on the question of how the Iranian people will rise up. The Department of War has dubbed the attack on Iran Operation Epic Fury. What are we doing here, Shaq? What are we doing here, man? Operation Epic Fury. These names are getting lazy. The last one was Operation Midnight Hammer. That's a cool name right there. That I didn't support it in any way, but that's a cool name. Epic Fury. Come on, man. What are we doing here? All right, let's go. U.S. officials told Fox News that the strikes against Iran are expected to continue for days. Can News reports that Israeli strikes targeted the top political leadership, including Supreme Leader Ayatollah and President Masoud. Is that how you say it? Dude, I'm horrible with these names. I'm cooked with these names. Iranian state media has reported that Khamenei and Possession, bro, I'm so cooked. If this gets clipped because of my pronunciation, I'm cooked. Are unharmed. Trump said the U.S. would completely destroy Iran's missile program and navy. Wait, okay. So again, this is a case of sloppy propaganda, because you remember the first time, if anybody was paying attention to that one, it was about obliterating their nuclear program. And now about obliterating their ballistic missile program, but also in the video, he kind of suggests that it's about destroying the nuclear capability, which we had already, according to him, destroyed. So it's a mess, and they can't really keep it straight. Iran responded by attacking U.S. military bases all around the Middle East, and Israel blasts have been reported in Kuwait, Bahrain, the UAE, Jordan, and Israel. Explosions were reported at Popular Mobilization Forces (PMF) bases in Iraq. The Iraqi militia have ties with Iran, Kataib, Hezbollah, and Iraqi Shia militia allied with Iran said it would begin striking U.S. bases in the region. Congress did not authorize Trump to go to war with Iran. Yeah, no duh. Do you think that he cares about that at all? Do you think this is a valid objection, but kind of a worthless one. I keep seeing people say things like, "Yeah, this is an illegal operation. Uh, it's unconstitutional. Needs to get approval from Congress." Yeah, you're right about counts. Like, that doesn't matter. That's been dead. The House was planning to vote next week on a Powers Act resolution to prevent the president from starting an aggressive war. Yeah, well, from what I've heard, they've been dragging their feet on that resolution. I don't know. It wouldn't have. I think it would have stopped him anyway. You really think that would have actually done anything? Let's go ahead and check the chat. Does Israel have something we want, or do they provide anything for us? See, that's kind of the whole question that's underpinning this entire issue. For most of the country, number one, if you ask me, it's gonna depend on who you ask. If you ask me, if we gain anything from a partnership with Israel, no, I would say we do not gain anything of note, anything substantial, anything that is important. Um, I would say that no, we do not need them as an ally. I would say that the relationship is very parasitic on their end, and I would say that they are really just a strategic liability to us, and this has been true for years. Like, these are arguments that have been made for almost 20 years now or more. Like John Mearsheimer's book, The Israel Lobby, which I think is like a must read if you really understand this. But I think there's been a case to make that they're a strategic liability, and certainly so now with the war in Gaza being a thing, and with them turning basically all of Western opinion against them, they're definitely a liability. Absolutely. Our government is completely subservient to them. So they'll come up with whatever rationale they need to justify the situation here. But in terms of whether or not that rationale actually holds up to me, no, I don't think so. Not at all. Capybara says, I know who this is too. LOL, you sound racist. A little bit, yeah. Yeah. I know there might be some people watching this about ready to talk about anti-Semitism. It's like stupid, useless objections such as those that mean nothing. Like, you guys need to understand that when it comes to people like this who are just hysterical, reflexively pro-war, their immediate reflex is to call you anti-Semitic if you don't support their wars. You just gotta stop caring what they think. You just gotta have a complete attitude towards everything they have to say and all their opinions. Their opinions are completely worthless. Okay. Jindo says, what's the point of having branches of government to keep the president in check if they can't keep him in check? Well, there is. It's just, look, there is no mechanism in place, really, to stop the president from defying orders of the Supreme Court or in the moment. Like, what they can do is, and they might actually do this, and I'd be actually pretty glad if they did this. I'm not going to lie. They're probably going to draft articles of impeachment, and good. They should, and it should pass, and I will not care at all if he gets impeached. I will not care. Look, I'm not where I am willing to allow the Republican establishment, the party, to just completely fizzle out, burn out, and die. They sold us out once again. This is a complete betrayal. Not even just like the campaign promises he made. He was the no new wars guy. He said in his inaugural, he said that he was going to be known for the wars he ended and the wars he never gets into. Well, we're like 3-0 on that. No, 0-3 on that. My bad. I almost cooked myself. Trump didn't sell out America. America has been sold out since the end of World War II. I actually agree with that. But I think still say he sold out America in the sense that he just did it again. Like, he just added on to the complete sellouts and betrayals that we've had to endure since that period. Uh, the president doesn't run the country. We don't get to see nor know about those people. Yeah, yeah. This is pointing at the deep state sort of thing, right? This is kind of well known. He does serve even like, when the president isn't completely demented and cooked, like the last one was. Like he's still subservient to other powers. If Israel doesn't do anything for us affect the liability and our political and so on. Just like asking, I don't know. These are kind of basic. They answer themselves type of question. I'm sorry if that's kind of mean or it sounds kind of mean, but these questions answer themselves. It's because they hold a lot of leverage and power over a foreign policy establishment. They have a bipartisan basis on aiding them. They have a lot of um, power over people. If you buy, the Epstein conspiracy, that's a whole other thing. Like you can say they have a lot of blackmail on the government. I'm not going to make any comment as to the validity of that, but it is what it is. That's a hypothesis to explain it. But the fact is, yeah, they have a lot of power and leverage, and uh, they hold a lot of sway over a significant portion of the electorate. So at least the Republican electorate, like evangelical Christians, they love Israel. So I don't know if you think that voter base matters at all and they care at all about their voters, which they don't, by the way. That's ridiculous, preposterous idea. But if you think that actually plays into it, you could use that to explain a lot of different ways to explain this. Brian says, would you take a Democratic majority in the House at this point, even if it means a Democratic president in 2028? My view on this is really, look, the Republicans are not going to be much better. If you want to look at this through the lens of like, what's the greatest evil? Yeah, I think the Democrats are, but the Republicans are only a marginal improvement at this point. Like, I wouldn't go so far as vote for a Democrat, but I think that it's only good insofar as it like the GOP establishment, which is what I want to see. I want to see them torched. All right, let's go back to the story here. Trump ordered the bombing as U.S. and Iranian negotiators were in the process of making a deal to war on Friday. The Iranian foreign minister was mediating talks. Iran had agreed to significant concessions and a deal was possible. Yeah, well, this isn't the first time we've seen stuff like this. This isn't the first time they said, "Oh, a deal is possible." We're talking it out with the the diplomats of the country, and it just doesn't end up going through, and they just use that as a ruse, and they end up attacking them at night. This is not the first. It's happened with Midnight Hammer. So that's the end of War.com's news coverage of this. There are more stories, but this is the end of this particular one. Now I'm going to play the president's address on this, and we're going to kind of dissect it. So this is a very unpopular question, and in asking this, I want to clarify what I am and am not doing. Okay, in asking this question, I am not running defense, not running cover. I'm not doing apologetics for the Iranian regime. I think they're off. They should go without saying. Okay. However, we need to ask ourselves, why do they do this? What is the cause of specifically the antipathy towards America, the death to America chance thing like that? Why is it that they do that? And the reason that's important is because we need to understand if maybe our policies contribute to this, the antagonism that we see towards the nation from Iran. And if we ask ourselves that question, it's an uncomfortable question, right? And I understand people's reflexes are to be like, oh, you're running cover Iran, you're running cover terrorists and murderers. No, but we need to understand if there's policy involved, if we have some blame in it. And I would say, yes, absolutely. I would say that our subservient, uh, toxic in a word, relationship with Israel, where we do our bidding, is responsible for a lot of this antipathy that not just Iran, a lot of these people in Middle Eastern nations have toward us. A lot of the Arab nations. I think that, yeah, a lot of our policy is the reason why things like this happen, and people on the right were calling this decades ago. You have obviously you've got the Bannon book, A Republic Not an Empire. We advocate against this entire policy establishment, but you've also got Mearsheimer. You've got like all of the anti-war arguments, all the non-interventionist argument. Ron Paul. You know, there's a long tradition of us saying, look, we are not saying it's a good thing that we're doing this. We're not jihadists, but we need to understand that our own policy failures play a role in these outcomes. And specifically, our insane reliance on Israel, uh, and our insane, not even reliance on, because we don't need them. We do not need them. They rely on us. Their insane reliance on us is what the cause of this antipathy toward is. That's what I'm to. Go ahead and look at the chat. I'm sure there's going to be some statements on this. Jane Doe says, "Well, we're definitely not innocent." Yeah, that's essentially the point I'm making here. We are absolutely not innocent in this. We are responsible partly for this stuff. And we need to examine our role in it, and the last thing we need to be doing is fueling the hegemonic aspirations of Israel, because Israel has a lot of enemies. By the way, for its own fault. It is the reason why it has its own action, or the cause of why it has so many enemies. Okay, so this whole idea, this nonsensical myth of, oh well, Israel is an innocent state who has never done anything wrong, surrounded by neighbors who hate it because how deeply anti-Semitic they are. That's just absurd. It's ridiculous. These points have been refuted for decades. We need to stop running. They're old and they're stale. Yo, what's up, chat? The link is not working in the description. Oh, hold on, bro. I got you. I'll fix it for you. Thank you for letting me know, by the way. I'm going to go ahead and replace it. Let's go ahead and just press. edit live stream. We're gonna go down here. All right. Go ahead and refresh it now, and you should be set. Let me know. Go back to the address on this. Are you kidding me? The most charitable way that we can interpret the inclusion of this this statement here is he's setting up context to justify the operation. But if he's trying to say that that bombing justifies us 43 years later annihilating the regime, that's absurd. That's ridiculous. Now, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt here and say that that's not the claim. He's just providing context for our antagonism towards Iran and the history of it. But if his claim is this happened in 1983, therefore we're justified in exacting retribution for this 43 years later, that's absurd. That's nonsensical. Literally has no bearing on our current geopolitics and justifications for war. Couldn't stand Kamala Harris as a candidate. I have to ask myself if she would have gotten us into all these the uncomfortable truths that I don't see that. No, I think she would have. Because you have to understand that allegiance to Israel is bipartisan. It's bipartisan. Obviously, they do not care, the elites in power, they do not care about what popular support for anything looks like. Because if they did care, there wouldn't be a war. Nobody supports. Look, the anti-war position is one of the easiest positions to win on simply because of how popular it is, simply because of how much it resonates with people. Nobody likes war. Nobody wants war unless you're like a war hawk and you're reflexively pro-war. But, if you're a sane, normal person, the anti-war position is going to resonate with you. Okay? And so it's a super popular thing to run on. And it's also one of the things when the president evaluates what is it that I'm actually going to do. The anti-war position goes out the window, as we've seen with Midnight Hammer last year, as we've seen with Venezuela, and as we see now with Epic Fury. I still can't believe that's the name of it, by the way. Absurd. I'm going to go ahead and check the StreamYard real quick, because I was told that somebody was going to join. It seems like they are. Go ahead and let me know if it's working. All right, we're going to do play. Again with the thing that he's including historical statements, maybe to justify war, maybe to not. If the intent is to justify this current war, that's insane again, especially because, and here's the irony, the Iranian government is not the only nation in the Middle East that's been responsible for sinking a U.S. Israel believe it's actually responsible for sinking a U.S. ship. Now, they claim it was an accident. However, that you should be skeptical of that for several reasons. Namely, like the U.S. flag that was like waving on the ship. But look, they sunk a ship called the U.S. Liberty in the 1970s. So if we are using old incidents to justify our current war, it's going to cut both ways. Now, again, benefit of the doubt. I'm being charitable. I do not think that's what he's trying to say, but I just think it's worth pointing out the irony here. Brian says, I guess he. First off, you're not sharing. Oh, shoot. Hold on. I don't think I have audio. Hold on. Sorry, guys. Hopefully, I gave enough context. Yes, there is. Thank you for letting me know. I think I've given enough context to explain what it is he's talking about without the audio. I'm gonna go ahead and start that. We're gonna start it over. Essentially, what he said in 1983, Iran attacked some bases that we have in Beirut, and in 2000 they sunk a U.S. ship, the USS Cole. That's the points that he made, and also the before those is that Iran wishes for the downfall of America and chant death to America and stuff like that. And I think I made that. I said like there's a tradition of calling into question whether or not our own policies are responsible for that. So hopefully I made it pretty clear without the audio going on here. Give me a second to fix this. There we go. We should be good. I'm going to go ahead and play this from the very beginning, and then we are going to make sure that it works.
A short time ago, the United States military began major combat operations in Iran. Our objective is to defend the American.
Second, the link doesn't work. And second, the link doesn't work because it was no doing it. If you would like, I can send you the link on Discord, and you can click on that. The reason it does that, by the way, that puts emphasis is because it cuts it off to shorten it for YouTube's system. So that's why it's going to do that. I can't even see that there is a viable description in the video or on the stream. I can't even see that. That's kind of a problem. I will go ahead and put in the chat. That one should not cut off. Here you go. Right. Go ahead and click on that from the chat. you on Discord, but I couldn't see the link in the description on my phone and Discord on my computer on the stream. So apologize if my volume's kind of loud. I'm gonna turn that down. My speech volume since it's gonna be playing. We're far too involved in other countries' business. Where are the better prices or the economy he promised? Where are the lower grocery prices? Correct me if I'm wrong, but I haven't seen much relief. Seems to be universal across the board. A lot of people have been reporting that it's gotten worse in the last year. There's been some prices things that have gone down, but honestly, like, I don't know if you saw the State of the Union, but what he's doing is he's basically using the same trope that was used in the Biden era of like, we're gonna cite certain items, and we're gonna say the price has gone down for these particular items, and that's supposed to be indicative of the state of the economy as a whole, which is absurd. It's not how economics works. I don't even know how reasoning works. It's literally fallacious, but all right. Let's see if you are. Somebody named Boy is trying to pull up. I know exactly what this is. Yo!
Hello.
What's good?
Oh dear God, the heck.
You're echoing?
Yeah.
I wonder if that's on the stream. Hold on, boy.
Is it? Hold on. It might be.
Yes, it is.
Bro, but it's probably because you're sharing your
I'm
system
sharing
audio.
system audio and it's
Yeah, I know.
Here, oh shit.
Exact.
Should be gone.
Okay, he actually fixed it. Oh,
Right.
okay. Now he's gone. You definitely there?
Yeah.
Yo, you there?
Yo,
What the heck is going on?
am I here?
Did his audio just crash? Oh my.
Yo, my audio cooked.
I'm gonna join back.
No,
wanna
my
join
audio's fine on the stream. It's you. All right, cool. He had to leave because his died. All right. We're gonna go back and we're gonna play the speech when he comes back, which should be good by now. I'm gonna turn my speak volume back since it shouldn't be audible anymore. Yo,
Can you hear me?
yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. What happened?
We're gonna watch. Your audio, I guess, died. You were audible, but you couldn't hear me, and my audio was fine.
Oh, that's weird. All right, yeah. Go ahead, play it.
All right. This is working.
A short time ago,
It is.
the United States military began major combat operations in Iran. Our objective is to defend the American people by eliminating imminent threats from the Iranian regime.
So let's stop here. This is the point I made earlier, but imminent threat, and you hear a lot of defensive rhetoric.
It's not
here,
the word
right?
I
Like,
would use.
You're hearing a lot of defensive rhetoric about, defending ourselves from a threat of Iran. This is a war of defense, it's not a war of choice, it's a war of necessity. That's the kind of rhetoric we're hearing. I don't believe this is true. Now, I do believe that they kind of are an imminent threat to another player in that region we happen to do the bidding of, and who we
Israel.
mistakenly tie our interests to and pretend
Israel?
they are kind of an imminent threat to them. Now, I would say that in that conflict, Israel is the aggressor, as they are in almost every conflict that they're in.
No, dude, what are you talking about? They're the most, they're the most.
World army in the world.
Yeah, right? In the world, right? I mean, that's what I got told. I didn't. I mean,
Said not only
do you want me to
that.
monitor? Do you want me to monitor chats?
Yeah, that helped me a lot.
You said what?
Yeah, that would actually help me a lot.
I got you.
Vicious group of very hard, terrible people. Its menacing activities directly endanger the United States, our troops, our bases overseas, and
How,
our
Slay?
allies
How?
throughout the world.
It does
How?
danger your troops overseas. Yeah, they're going to strike back at you because you struck at them first. So, ironically, the action that is the cause of the troops overseas becoming endangered is not a kind of action on the part of the Iranian regime. It's us starting war on them with the justification that they're an imminent threat. And
Right.
this, by the way, guys, is the reason why we have this war theory. This is the reason why preemptive attacks like this are not justified generally. Because what ends up happening is that what really puts the troops, the military danger over there, is not, the regime threatening and attacking. It's you attacking them first under the spin that they're going to do it to you.
Yeah.
That is why preemptive attacks are not justified. And we're going to get more into some just war theory sort of elements of this after we go through the
So
speech,
someone says, so Jane Doe says, and they say America doesn't have propaganda.
Nobody says. Who says this?
I don't think there was a. So there's a chat that you might have missed that I wanted to go through. It's from Bryant. So Bryant said the following. He said, "We're far too involved in other countries' business. Where is the better economy he promised? Where are the lower grocery prices? Correct me if I'm wrong, but I haven't seen much relief."
Like I said, it seems to be experience for kind of the country as a whole that isn't very much relief. And the State of the Union, if you watched it, he essentially did the composition fallacy. If you don't know what that is, essentially where he pointed at parts of the economy that are doing decently well. I don't even know if those are true.
If X is true of a part, then it's true of the whole, is the structure of the fallacy.
Right. Yeah, and so he basically said, like, eggs are going down, gas is going down, stuff like that.
Therefore, the economy is going down.
The entire economy is fine. Right?
Jane Doe says Americans.
Americans think that Americans believe that they're immune from propaganda? Really?
Well, I mean, wouldn't surprise me if they believe that. I think that Jane Doe said they say America doesn't have it, meaning that there's two meanings behind it. Either America doesn't perpetuate it, or America does not get involved in it.
They do not propagandize citizens.
Yeah, they don't
Is
propagandize,
that
nor
what,
do
do people
nor
really
do they
believe it?
fall for propagandize, which is just not true in both counts.
This is insane. This is the reason why all this nonsense is happening. Oh my gosh, what are we talking about? What is this
What
like
are we
insane
doing,
attitude
Joe?
of?
What
Oh
are we
no,
doing?
we're good. We live in a free democratic society, dude. That's ridiculous. Oh, by the way, I'm gonna go through some justifications for this action that have been circulating. Believe it or not, on some parts of the right. Um, After this speech,
There's been
after we go through it,
justification.
people have been justifying it.
Oh, what?
I'll go through some of those. I'll pull it up on my Twitter, sure to give me.
Oh
Um,
yeah, okay.
but I'll go through that after this. But I will say is one of the justifications for this war has been that it's popular.
I'm sorry, what?
Number one, that's not true. It's not true that it's popular.
What's popular?
The war is popular, according to these people.
The war is popular? What does that
It
even
is
mean?
popular with the people, meaning
Oh, okay.
that we want to see it. The citizens, the populace, we want to see this go down.
Oh,
We
my
want
Lord.
war. Now, that's ludicrous on its face when you understand just how much of a winning issue the anti-war stance always is. Okay? That's problem number one. But problem number two, what right wing am I on that all of a sudden we care about what's popular?
Yeah.
What right wing is this that all of a sudden cares about appeals to democracy and democratic legitimacy and stuff like that? What is going on? What are
Jay
we
says that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
I'm confused as to what right wing
Didn't the right wing look? Didn't the right wing used to be this thing? I mean, this is when I first started getting into politics, which is when ET was a thing. Didn't the right wing would come across as these guys that did not care about what was popular or what people felt about something, as long as it's grounded in something that's substantive, something that's logical,
True.
something that's
Facts
rational,
over
something
feelings,
that's true,
stuff like that.
Right now, we're just saying,
100%.
oh well, yeah. Now we're just saying, oh well, we want to see this. It's popular among the people, so therefore that means that it is inherently justifiable. No,
this is
what?
By no means like representative of the majority of the right. Most of us are still on that train of who gives a crap if it's popular. It doesn't matter. Dude, since when have we been people who appeal to democracy?
Right.
I'm sorry, when is it? Isn't this the movement that is like its elements have anti-democratic views? There's like monarchists, loyalists, hard-right libertarians who believe in democracy. What are we doing here? What do you mean? Oh, it's popular. That gives legitimacy. No, who cares if it's popular?
So, Fernando, I don't know if you know this, but you're glitching a little bit. We can parse what you're saying, but there's there's
a bit of a glitch. Yeah, I've seen it on the stream. Not much I can do, unfortunately. It goes away after a bit, but
yes, sometimes we can parse what you said, but abortion is popular. Does that make it okay? No, the same logic applies here.
Dude, I just don't understand. Like, what right wing am I in? I have the impression that I was in a anti-democratic part of the spectrum.
Very, very controversialist. Very.
I thought we were like non-interventionists. We don't care about what's popular. We don't care if everybody wants to get on. Dude, one of my critiques is that people don't understand all the factors involved here, so they're equipped to make legitimate decisions on this matter. Who cares what the average voter thinks of Iran and going to war? They're educated about basically everything to do with politics anyway. Why do we care what they think? So I'll go through those arguments in a little bit, but man, I just can't believe that we're seeing people on the right who are usually like anti-democratic, the type of people to say, we have a republic, not a democracy type thing. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
And now we're just saying, oh, well, it's popular with people, so there's no. We have just war theory reason, and by the way, none of the conditions for having a just war are everybody wants it.
Obviously.
None of them. So let's go ahead and continue the speech here. It says continue. Fine. It's pulling it up. Oh, why is it lagging so bad?
Dude, because your internet's bad. I think we're gonna get to something as well that you said earlier that I wanted to address, but I think we're gonna get to that point in the clip. You said like, well, I'm not running cover for the Iranian regime. Yeah. Yeah, I wanna add something about that because that's what people say when I say like when I say, and this is actually what I came up for, but I'm already up here. What I say when I say things like I don't condone. Okay, now it's working. When I say things like I don't condone what's going on in Israel for the what they're doing to the Palestinians, people say, "Are you running cover for these T groups?" No. I'm not. I'm not running cover for any T group. Bro. It's so dumb.
This is one of the goofiest things I've heard, and people know better than this too. Like,
years, the Iranian regime has chanted death to America and waged an unending campaign of bloodshed and mass murder, targeting the United States, our troops, and the innocent people in many, many countries.
So again, I'll just very quickly reiterate what I said in response when the audio wasn't there. Yeah, you need to ask yourself if the policies that has pursued have been responsible for that.
So Bryant says, I would also like to know the sample size of those people who supposedly think it's popular. They don't tell us that.
No, they don't. Well, because it's not popular. It's not. The anti-war position is popular always.
Obviously. The
pro-war position is only really popular with people who like are war hawks and they're really invested in that goes down abroad. And they're like, like an Iranian American. They might be happy about this. Okay, but that's the whole problem is we are Americans without a hyphen, right? We care about what's best for the well-being of the people in our country. And if you are somebody who's like, if you are an Iranian here and you're celebrating because the U.S. government is doing the will of the citizens over in that country, that shows a failing on the part of the U.S. government, not a strength. Not good. If foreigners are cheering for the things the government is doing because it's directly implementing what they want, that's not good. That means your government is failing you.
Right.
Among the regime's very first acts was to back a violent takeover of the U.S. Embassy in Iran, holding dozens of American hostages for 444 days. In 1983, these carried out the Marine barracks bombing in Beirut that killed 240 American military personnel. In 2000, they knew and were probably involved with the attack the U.S. call. Many died. Iranian forces killed and maimed hundreds of American service members in Iraq. The regime's proxies have continued to launch countless attacks against American forces stationed in the Middle East in recent years, as well as U.S. Navy commercial vessels and international shipping lanes. It's been mass terror, and we're not going to put up with it any longer. From Lebanon to Yemen and Syria to Iraq, the regime has armed, trained, and funded terrorist militias that have soaked the earth with blood and guts. And it was Iran's proxy, Hamas, launched the monstrous October 7th attacks on Israel.
Are we still doing this? Well, of course we are.
Okay, why? Okay, first of all, Jane said something. Jane said, why don't they put out a survey? They will see the truth. Oh, wait, that will completely contradict that claim.
Well, it doesn't even matter, even if it doesn't. That's my point. Who cares?
Yeah.
Who cares?
The thing is, why does he sound like it's AI reading this? Like, am I wrong in saying that there's a little bit of AI?
It's recorded in a way that would make it sound like that. Yeah, but it's actually, it might be. I don't know, but it is his words. Because he posted it on his official channel. So
it seems AI.
Murdering more than 1,000 innocent people, including 46 Americans, while taking 12 of our citizens hostage. It was brutal, something like the world has never seen before. Iran is the world's #1 state sponsor of terror.
All right, so another uncomfortable question we need to ask ourselves, and again, we're not running cover for the groups, but we need to ask ourselves, why do they exist? Is it just because of some hatred of this? Is when people ask these questions, the answer that you're going to get from the Zionists is, oh, well, they just hate Jews.
Mm-hmm.
And they want to exterminate them all. No, it's not because they want to exterminate them all. It's because the behaves in the way it does. That is why.
Jane said, correct me if I'm way off base, but I don't think we had any business in Iraq.
No, we got into the Iraq War on completely false pretenses.
Yeah. Very, very false pretenses.
Just recently killed tens of thousands of its own citizens on the street as they protested. It has always been the policy of the
So
why?
Wait.
Why are we bringing this up? Why are we running this? What?
why are we running this? What are we doing? First of all, we need actual real figures to confirm numbers of protest deaths that are coming from government outlets who are trying to convince you to sign on a war. Okay. This is obviously a conflict of interest. But let's grant that to them. Why is this our duty to go fix? It's not.
Bro, I swear.
Make an argument for why we need to do a regime change war that rarely ever pans out well. And I don't think there's a single instance of panning out well in the Middle East in particular. And so tell me why we need to do a war like that for the sake of Iranian testers.
Look, you know what I always say? If you want to give me an argument, liberals and right wingers who are in this pro side of the position, I want premise 1. What is premise 1? What is it? Nah, but on a more serious note, I swear, someone is gonna come on one of the apologetics lives and be like, well, what about the Irani government? What about what they're doing? Like, yo, dude, what are we doing here, man?
What are we doing?
What
This
are we
is
doing?
ridiculous. Okay, the idea that Iran shooting and killing their own protesters in the street creates a just war condition for us to intervene is not the case.
James says, like the U.S. cares about those Iranian protesters, it's just a cover up.
Yeah, just war propaganda to
Most probably is.
get
I'm
us
not
on
gonna
board.
lie. It's
it's-
just like, oh, this country did something bad. That means that
It's our
the
job to
U.S.
fix
needs
it.
to act. Yeah, it's our duty to fix it.
No,
No,
that's
it's not.
preposterous.
That's nonsensical.
At best, it creates just war conditions for the populace themselves to affect regime change, but
But that it does
certainly
not
does not
cause
justify
for the U.S. to
for
do that.
yeah, it does not. It just doesn't.
States, in particular, administration, that this terrorist regime can never have a nuclear weapon. I'll say it again.
Why? Look, if we're putting the anti-nuclear weapons as a universal thing, which is not what we're doing, but if that's what we're doing, I'd be on board with that. Now, I wouldn't be on board with bombing the capital to make that happen, but anti-nuclear weapons, I do not believe they should exist. However, how does this justify under the idea that yes, nuclear weapons are legitimate and should be acquired as defensive measures? How can you say that they do not have a nuclear weapon, and especially frame it in terms of they're a threat to the U.S.? A nuclear armed Iran is a threat to the U.S. No, they're not. We have far more nuclear capability than they do. We damaged nuclear sites already. If they were to acquire one nuclear bomb, we would not be in trouble. They would be obliterated if they wanted to go that far with us. And they know it. They are not a threat to us. Now, who are they? Who is nuclear armed on actually a threat to?
Israel?
Yeah. And that's why we're intervening. Because it is not in Israel's interest for them to have a weapon.
They can never have a nuclear weapon. That is why in Operation Midnight Hammer last June, we obliterated the regime's nuclear program at Fordow, Natanz, and Isfahan. After that attack, we warned them never to resume their malicious pursuit of nuclear weapons. We sought repeatedly to make a deal. We tried. They wanted to do it. They didn't want to do it. Again, they wanted to do it. They didn't want to do it. They didn't know what was happening. They just wanted to practice evil. But Iran refused, just as it has for decades and decades. They rejected every opportunity to renounce their nuclear ambitions. We can't take it anymore. Instead, they attempted to rebuild the nuclear program and to developing long-range missiles that can now threaten our...
You can't rebuild a completely obliterated and destroyed nuclear program in 8 months. It's not possible to do that. This only works if it was a lie that their program was destroyed. Which, yeah, it seems like it was a lie that their program was destroyed. And also notice how the justification has shifted from it's a problem that they have access to nuclear enriched uranium that they can use to build a nuclear bomb to now it's a problem that they have ballistic missiles.
Yeah.
Notice the shift here. Do not let that slip. They can't keep their own justification for straight here.
Very good friends and allies in Europe, troops stationed overseas, and could soon reach the American homeland. Just imagine how emboldened this regime would be if they ever had and actually were armed with nuclear weapons as a means to deliver the message. For these reasons,
Dude, are you kidding me? They'd be crushed if they ever tried to do that. Know that. They're not stupid. That's why they're not a threat to the U.S. because they know that if they try to gesture with a nuclear weapon, he will not put up with it.
They're only a threat to
military is
only one
undertaking a
power.
massive and ongoing operation.
They're really only a threat to one power. Who, by the way, they're really a threat to that power, and the reason they threaten that power is because of their own actions. So it's pretty difficult. Like people say, "Oh, well, they're a threat to Israel. They threaten Israel." Yeah, well, it's pretty difficult to get me to feel sympathy for Israel because of the things that it. Okay, let's go down here.
To prevent this very wicked, radical dictatorship threatening America and our core national security interests. We're going to destroy their missiles and raise their missile industry to the ground. It will be totally, again, obliterated. We're going to annihilate their navy. We're going to ensure that the region's terrorists can no longer destabilize the region world and attack our forces and no longer use their IED.
Well, what about Israel destabilizing the region and the world as they always do? Are we going to stop that or no?
Nah, of course. Israel's just doing their very thing, and they're always getting attacked. Yeah.
For no reason.
Yeah. Right?
And not because, and not currently because they're doing a genocide or anything.
No,
never.
don't say that. That's anti-Semitic.
No.
Or roadside bombs, as they are sometimes called, to so gravely wound and kill thousands and thousands of people, including many Americans. And we will ensure that Iran does not obtain nuclear weapons. It's a very simple message. They will never have a nuclear weapon. This regime will soon learn that no one should challenge the strength and might of the United States Armed Forces.
They didn't, though.
No one should challenge the strength, supposedly, of the Israeli armed force. I mean, what?
Yeah, that's what he should have said. Look, this is what that means, okay? Because Iran challenging the strength and power of the American armed forces. They are not. They know better than that.
I built and rebuilt our military in my first administration, and there is no military on earth even close to power, strength, or sophistication. My administration has taken every possible step to minimize the risk to U.S. personnel in the region. Even though I do not make this statement lightly, the Iranian regime seeks to kill. The lives of courageous American heroes may be
seek to kill now after what you did. Yeah, they are. And that's what they're doing now. They are seeking to kill because of what you
Jane
did.
says he's so contradictory.
Yeah, contradictory name here.
And we may have casualties. That often happens in
So
war.
I'm glad that he just goes out and says that this is a war, because all the people who justify stuff like this always say, well, no, this is not a war. This is a one-time operation. If you can't distinguish between an act of war and an operation, you're an idiot. No, operations are acts of war, by the way. If you're not getting cooperation from the actual government of the opposing nation to do the things that you're doing, and especially if you're targeting the government of that nation, that is an act of war. We did an act of war against Venezuela. We're doing it here again. We did it last summer. Acts of war. So I'm glad he just goes out and says that, because a lot of people are like in denial about this.
Yep.
But we're doing this not for now. We're doing this for the future. And it is a noble mission.
No, it's not.
Is it really?
No, it's
Is
not.
it really?
No. No, it really isn't a noble mission. I don't understand how
It's
you
not
get
a
this
noble
out.
mission at all.
What do we mean by noble? Are we using that as synonymous for just? Because this is not a just war by any metric.
Obviously.
Pray for every service member as they selflessly risk their lives to ensure that Americans and our children will never be threatened by a nuclear-armed Iran.
No, they're risking because you and your department ordered them to. They have to.
And you and your department ordered them to because Israel.
Okay, so let's not romanticize the situation where they're fighting out of some desire to destroy Iran or something. No, dude, it's because you made them do it.
We ask God to protect all of our heroes in harm's way, and we trust that with his help, the men and women of the armed forces will prevail. We have the greatest in the world, and they will prevail. To the members of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard, the armed forces, and all of the police, I say tonight that you lay down your weapons and have complete immunity, or in the alternative, face certain death. So lay down your arms. You will be treated fairly with total immunity, or you will face certain. Finally, to the proud people of Iran, I say tonight that the hour of your freedom is at hand. Stay sheltered. Leave your home. It's very dangerous outside. Bombs will be dropping everywhere.
Don't worry, guys. Israel is involved in this operation, so you're not going to have to leave your homes to be killed.
Oh, yeah.
Finish, take over your government. It will be yours to take. This will be probably your only chance for generations. For many years, you have asked for America's help, but you never got it.
Really?
The president was willing to.
You understand how much of a switch of this is? In 2013 or 2012, he was going out and condemning Obama because he thought that he would get us into a war with Iran. He said, yeah, he's going to get us into this war. That's a bad thing. Now his position is we should have gotten into this a long time ago.
Yeah, I think this guy's off his rocker. I'm not going to hold you.
Do what I am willing to do tonight. Now you have a president who is giving you what you want. So
yeah, again, we're just manufacturing stuff. Like, is this really what they want? Real? It's like when we said the Venezuelans. We said, oh, this is what the Venezuelans want. Which, by the way, thank you for admitting that we do the bidding of foreigners. Because even if it's true, it isn't a good thing. We're not in the business of giving all the nations of the world what they would like. Okay, but thank you for admitting that that's what the government's function is now, apparently.
Well, thank you very much.
See how you respond. America is backing you with overwhelming strength and devastating force. Now is the time to seize control of your destiny and to unleash the prosperous and glorious future that's close within your reach. This is the moment for action. Do not let it pass. May God bless the brave men and women of America's armed forces. May God bless the United States of America. May God bless you all. Thank you.
All right, well, that's it. That's the address here. So, what are we thinking, guys? We thinking that this made a sufficient case for why we should go to war?
Because my audio died again. So, check in 30 seconds. I'm going to be backstage.
I got you.
Starting now.
All right. Chat, what are we thinking, guys? Did he make a good case for why we should be involved in war? I'm thinking not. So now we're going to get into some of the arguments in favor of the war we're kind of seeing. shoot, hold on. I got spam with notifications on Twitter replying to my stuff. Hold on. Oh man. All right, boys. Let's look at this. Um, let's keep going here. Somebody says preemptive strikes violate Catholic just war theory. I'm gonna go ahead and repost that one. That's true. Go through. Go through. I see a lot of people against. Sorry, guys, being kind of silent. Just reading through some text. All right, what's up, bro?
Yo.
Back in.
All right, so this is Jane Doe. She said, well, I'm assuming it's she, but Jane said, no, that was pretty weak. Then she's, I don't know why she's saying she, but Jane said, and this is why I don't really think that America is a democracy anymore.
This is the greatest indictment of like the democratic system I think I've seen in a while, and what I mean by that is that this war is overwhelmingly unpopular. Nobody wants to go to war in Iran. We did it anyway because democracy is best.
And then she said,
get followed.
Courageous American soldiers who you couldn't be bothered to pay during your shutdown.
I don't know if that's true. Not too familiar with the workings and final details of that, but if that's true, that's crazy. Bingo says, no, that was pretty weak in reference to the case for war. No, yeah, it was terrible. It was an awful case. All right, let's go through, see if we can find pro-war sort of ideas here. I know how to do it. All right. Pull up news. Okay, somebody said, if anyone has learned in the U.S. are no longer to be played with, two at taking out dictators, our military, is that precise? Like, for real, don't look at them the wrong way, face rolling on the floor laughing. Look, what I will say about this is that there is a level of impressiveness when it comes to like the operation, right? Like these operations, you cannot deny that they are precisely surgically, at least when the U.S. is involved. Now, when Israel is involved, they too, except that they actually mean to kill all the civilians. But yeah, what I will say is there is a level of impressiveness to these operations that I cannot deny. We do achieve our goals. Now, provide cover for the pro-war side? Does this provide an argument? No, not at all. And I don't think fairness that this is what the guy here is saying, but it does not at all justify. Let's keep going. All right, so here is a purported Iranian, and I say purported because you got to understand that there's a lot of bombing on this website, and people, especially what they call IDF bombs, people who are in support of Israeli causes. A lot of them end up being bots. So
we got some chats here rolling in.
all right, what's up?
Jane says, I think they got paid because donors were willing to pay them. And then Bryant says, I think America is technically a republic, actually, if I'm not mistaken.
You're right, yeah. You're right, it was meant to be that, yeah.
Yeah, we the people of the republic.
Okay, so this is a reported account. It says, quote, Iranian here with a message for every American about President Trump. Thank you. God bless President Trump. God bless the U.S. military. God bless America. So this is a pro-war speech. You're cheering because the American government is doing what you want them to do. If you're even real, if you're even a real person, that is actually an indictment against the U.S. government. And the best part is, I don't think they even realize why that is the case. Okay, so here we go. Here's another person who says, "Your outrage. Obama bombed 8 countries without congressional approval, and Clinton bombed an factory to cover up his affair." How is this an argument?
What? What does that even mean?
It's not an argument. This is basically saying, oh, well, you didn't get mad when these guys did it. Yeah, actually, we did.
Yeah, we did.
I don't know if you're talking about, like, which element of the right are you talking about with this statement? Because if you're talking about, like, the libertarians, which is where I am, like, yeah, we did. 8 countries that congressional approval. We say that every single time these people do it. We're consistent on this point. Oh dear God, this is Zionist. Hold on.
Wait, what's his name?
So let me get this straight. You support the Khamenei regime that killed 38,000 plus protesters and hundreds of thousands more. A regime that repeatedly calls for death to America and has killed thousands of our servicemen citizens. One that has taken away women's rights. What are we doing? What are we doing
right now? Lord, have mercy.
Taking away women's rights and the Iranian people, and then our efforts to destroy the evildoers, a catastrophic escalation. You also support those who attack the police force. You take the side of the criminals and the victims and violent actors in our city. As if you can't differentiate between good and evil, why is it so hard for you? And this is in response to the mayor of New York saying, today's military strikes on Iran carried out by the United States and Israel mark a catastrophic escalation in an illegal war of aggression. Bombing cities, killing civilians, opening a new state of war. Americans do not want this. They do not want another war in pursuit of regime change. They want relief from the affordability crisis. They want peace. I am focused on making sure that every New Yorker is safe. I am in contact with the police commission management officials. We are taking proactive steps, including increasing coordination across agencies, patrols of sensitive locations out of abundance of caution. Okay, he just keeps going, but this is one of the
Dude,
only base things this
I
guy
would-
has ever said. How is it that a socialist gets this right better than you? This guy says, "Oh, you can't differentiate between good and evil. You can't either. How is it that How is it that a socialist was able to do it better than you?"
Oh, isn't that Mamdani guy?
Yes.
Oh yeah, yeah.
This is one of the only base things this has ever said, okay, in his entire career. And this guy's a socialist, Marxist. And he is distinguishing good from evil better than you are. This is embarrassing.
I would love to debate one of these Zionists. I'm telling you, what I would do is I would freaking rhetoric max like crazy. Like crazy, I would rhetoric max. It's not that. It's not that they're. So this is what Jane said. They said it's not that they're SAPORTED. So maybe they meant supported. It's not like they're supported, but it's that it is not our place to step in like this.
Oh my gosh, man. What are we doing? What are we doing here? We're talking about Iran failing to give women rights on the timeline as a pro-war argument.
Oh my good God! What?
Why
oh, yeah.
are we do? Are
Why?
we? What are we? Are we the right wing or are we not? What is this?
I don't know if
Garbage.
I don't know if this guy's a right winger. Is he?
Yeah, Bill Ackman is a Republican owner. Yeah.
Oh, the freaking Bill Ackman guy. Oh my Lord! I remember that. Oh my God, that guy's so stupid. So Jane said, it's not that they're supported, but it's that it's not our place to step in like this. If it were, we'd have to get involved in a crap ton more of countries' affairs than just Iran.
Yeah, that's kind of the argument here, right? Is that if we want to take this role of enforcing our standard of morals onto the world, we have to get involved everywhere. Everywhere.
We're gonna be like American expansionists.
Yes, kind of what we are. Illegal attack on by Israel and the kind of catastrophic act of aggression, brutality, escalation, human nuclear price. Yeah, that's true. Lindsey Graham. Oh dear God, here we go with this guy. Here we go with this freaking absolute degenerate.
Who's Lindsey Graham? Is that a guy?
Yeah.
How's that a guy?
Senator.
Wait,
I fervently pray.
Wait. What senator is he? Or she?
So, it's a he. He's from North Carolina.
Is he a trans?
No. He's a Republican senator.
Oh, okay. Because with a name like Lindsay, I wouldn't expect.
Yeah, you'd think, but no. I fervently pray that the long-suffering people of Iran will have their oppression ended soon. I also firmly pray that we are on the verge of a new dawn in the Middle East with historic opportunity for lasting peace and prosperity. To our allies in Israel, President Trump.
Let me tell you something.
allies in Israel, President Trump, and all under his command. Your bravery has set in motion the end of evil and darkness and the beginning of the light.
Of the light.
Well done.
Oh, you mean like the light? You mean like that one time a guy that we both know said to me, "You need to see the light of Christianity"?
I remember that guy.
What is this? What is this kind of like? What is this? Look, I'm gonna tell you right now. Democracy in the Middle East is not something that we want. No, we don't want that.
Yeah,
No, it's true.
democracy is like a trash system anyway, so why we want it anyway, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it is. What I'm saying. But democracy in the Middle East, that's the way. No, it's not. It's not. We don't want that. We don't care for that. Lindsay was originally a boy's name, really? Okay, well, I guess I stand corrected.
Oh my god, here we go with the war propaganda. This is a video here, and it says, exiled Iranian women in the Netherlands cry tears of joy after the U.S. bombed Iran. And
Lord have mercy.
And the Islamic regime may be in its final days. F all the leftists who want to deny them the right to live freely in their homeland again. What are we doing?
What are we doing?
We're literally, bro, this is the stage of propaganda that we're literally taking videos. This is beyond parody. This is beyond satire. Okay, I couldn't, you'd think this would show up like a sexist cartoon or something, but this is just real. We're running war propaganda. We are trying to justify a war and say, look, we should feel good with us what we're doing by showing videos of women crying. What are we doing here?
I was gonna make a joke and then I remember going live.
What is this? You think this is like a satire? No, this is real. The war propagandists are really using pictures of women crying to show people that we need to do what we need to do.
Oh
Come
yeah,
on.
this ex-Irani who's probably a murtad who probably lives in the Netherlands. Well, she does, but I don't know. She does. I don't know about that second thing. And she probably is on the side of Israel, and she's probably a Zionist. She's probably an ex-Muslim apostate murtad Zionist. Probably.
This is just crazy, man.
Oh, good lord.
This is like beyond parody. We're using videos of women crying to further our propaganda efforts.
And yet, when there are videos of children crying because of Israel, we don't do a single thing, huh?
Yeah, no.
We just not
those are real, right?
Yeah,
that's what we do.
When there are videos of children asking for their mom, who got killed by an IDF attack, when there are children who are calling and asking for help, and the person that calls knowing they're not going to get any, when there are videos of children crying because they don't have food, they don't have water, when there are videos of babies, young babies getting attacked, oh no, we don't do anything about that, right? No, we just take that and we just take it under the bus. We just say, no, those aren't real. That's terror. That's T propaganda. I don't know if we can say. Can we say terrorist on YouTube?
I'd be careful.
Yeah, yeah. Those are T. That's T propaganda. It's T propaganda. What are we doing here, man?
What are we doing? And then, to further the war propaganda efforts, you literally show pictures of women crying. Are you kidding me? The joke writes itself. What are we talking about?
The joke writes itself.
Holy crap. I don't even need to say anything. Somebody said, Us, we can't pay rent, we can't buy homes. Government, best we can do is bomb Iran. True.
Real, real, real. Real. So real.
There's reports about them bombing a girls' school. Um,
Who
oh
is
yeah,
it?
guys, remember you're dealing with Israel. You're gonna get stuff like this, okay? Look,
Yeah, because
this
Israel
is
always
par
does
for the
that.
course with these
Last
people.
line.
They blew up an elementary school for little girls. Um, and this is what we're supposed to get behind.
Yep.
Oh, here we go. In the Islamic calendar, today is the 11th day of the ninth month, 9/11. It's payback time for all you Islamic terrorists. President Trump carried out strikes on Iran on 9/11 during Ramadan. He is an absolute genius. Rest in peace. Oh my gosh.
Hey man. Hey man.
This is a woman who said this.
You. Yeah. Oh my good lord. Yeah. I'm not gonna say anything, but
That's
because we're on live.
gross.
But
To speak this, look, what I will say is to speak this flippantly about serious matters as war is disgusting, it's disgraceful. And this is how these people speak. Like, this is really just a game to these people. They don't understand that war actually carries with it consequences. And that's why it doesn't matter if this is popular with the base or not.
yeah.
Because people treat this nonsense like a video game. It's
Yeah.
like,
They
oh,
do.
no, we totally owned you, get owned, best strategy, farm. Like, no, dude. This is a war. People die in wars. This is actually serious matter. It says, wow, Representative Tim Burchett just mic dropped the Democrats. Obama bombed 8
Uh,
countries up. Congressional approval. It's disingenuous for them to say this is unprecedented. Killed Americans'
what?
recent memory.
Okay.
They killed
So
Americans. Yeah, but this is only an argument against Democrats, not me.
okay. So the argument is Obama bombed these countries, and you guys didn't like it. So why are you guys upset
Uh,
when he does it?
no, his argument against Democrats is Obama did this 8 times and you didn't raise any objections to it, and you didn't say that he needed congressional approval. And that's true, because you got to
No,
keep in
that's, of
mind that
course
the
it's true.
Democrats are completely disingenuous snakes. And yeah, of course, this is a hypocrisy. This is an instance of hypocrisy on their end. But this
Yup.
doesn't apply to right wing anti war critiques where we are coming from. Oh, here's Joel Berry. Ugh.
So he says. So Jane said, "This is propaganda for the American people, so they will not oppose this."
This is propaganda for the American people, so they're not opposed. Yeah, of course.
What did Joel Barry? What did Joel Barry
Joel
say?
Berry put some picture, and then it said British people watching America liberate Iran from radical Islam. I don't know
Oh
what the
my
picture
good
is though, so
lord!
I don't know what the meme he's trying
From
to do here is.
radical Islam. Okay, bro.
Uh, keep going. There's just a lot of news clips. Heartbreaking scenes show Iranians searching through their children's bags and books after Israeli-American strike killed around 86 girls at an elementary school. Yeah, I mean, this is gonna happen. I mean, Israel's involved.
Hey man, they got the curse
Shouldn't
upon the
happen.
Israeli government and the Israeli force.
Ilhan,
And those
okay,
who are
this is a representative. This is a female Republican representative. She says
Oh, good lord.
Ilhan Omar did not care that over 1,000 Jews were slaughtered on a Jewish holiday. Maybe sit this one out, terrorist lover.
Who is she responding to? What?
Some Democratic female rep. Today is a great day. Our military is amazing. P. is an absolute killer. Now you see why the deep state works so hard against him. He actually gets it. This is so stupid.
Oh my god, what are we doing? We're glazing the military. What, guys? Why? Why are we doing this? Why? Why are they doing this? I'm so confused.
Iranian here, we want this war. Dude, we don't care what you foreigners
I don't
want.
care what you want, bro.
We do not care what foreigners want. This is an America First movement. The fact that you are cheering on what we're doing means we're doing something wrong.
Oh. For real, bro.
A lot of news here. I know this isn't the main story or a key point today, but remember that billions of dollars are being effortlessly expended today bombing a country which Americans don't support and no U.S. lawmaker voted for. Remember that next time they tell you there is no money for healthcare. Well, the implication here is that like we should be doing like socialized healthcare, which I don't agree with, but it's true though. Like we don't care about this. We didn't want this, but it doesn't matter because democracy is a complete scam.
Yeah.
And things like this happen. Am I right in assuming that the U.S. is going to be kicked out of the World Cup and other sporting competitions like Russia was for starting a war? That is how the rules work, right? No, that will not happen.
You know what's funny? I'll tell you guys a story. So, I hope it happens. But Iran and Egypt made it into the World Cup, and the organization said that we want to make Iran versus Egypt a pride game. To do the contrast of, Muslims and Islam can be pro-LGBT as well. And they were like, so Iran and Egypt, are you guys cool with it? Iran and Egypt said, hell no. Either you recant this, or we're backing out and you're losing a crap ton of funding. And they're like, okay. You know what? As a matter of fact, we can settle this peacefully. You don't have to do your pride game.
Let's keep trying to find this.
The chat's kind of dead right now, I'm not gonna lie.
Here we go again with this nonsense. Iranian women are literally removing their hijabs and dancing in the middle of Tehran to crimes in the Islamic regime. They have been longing for freedom for decades. Can anyone explain why Western leftists who claim to care about women's rights are against liberating them? Can you explain why you on the right give a shit?
Yeah, can you please do that?
Please, because I will tell you right now, this is not our problem. And I'll say it right here like open, out in the open. This is not our issue to be resolving. Um, even like if it's as bad as people say it is, like this is not our issue. We do not care. Um, why do you all of a sudden advance a women's liberation argument in favor of a war? And also, it's pretty easy to answer from their side too. It's because it's a war for
It's a war.
for a genocidal rogue regime. That is why they oppose it. So yes, they can, and I hate having to defend these guys here because we're completely opposed on every single issue ever, but it's not incoherent for them to oppose the war at all.
It's not incoherent for who opposed the war?
For the leftist feminists to oppose the war.
No, it would not be. No, it wouldn't be. It actually, no, you're right. It would not be incoherent.
Bro, this guy I follow replied to him and said, "You argue like a leftist? Duh, you must be against liberation if you oppose a neocon war. This is like you must hate the poor if you don't support some BS tax policy." So,
base.
let's go.
Base.
It's Tom Woods. That's awesome, dude. That's awesome. Okay, this is Mark Levin. This is a radical Zionist loser. God bless America, our president, and our armed forces. It is very important that we, the people, show our president, armed forces, and the world, including our enemies and adversaries, that we are united in this greatest of peace missions. Make your voices heard on radio, online, on TV. Make your voices heard in churches and synagogues, in your neighborhoods, social gatherings. After all, this is our mission too. No, it's not. It's not our mission too.
Hey,
it isn't.
All of these people saying, "God bless all these people saying, "God bless Israel, God bless the forces." You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and counteract that. May God's curse be upon the Israeli Diaper Force members that are killing children and innocent people, and the Israeli government, and all the people who side with them in their evil and wretched causes. La'natullah alayhim thumma la'natullah alayhim. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I don't think that this behavior merits God's blessing at all.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't believe that. Yeah.
Okay, so this is one of the arguments that I want to get to. So this guy goes on a
Lord.
long text war rant, but this monumental and historic peace mission taking place now will save the lives of hundreds of thousands in Iran and across the Middle East and indeed around the world. It will put an end to the murder of Americans by this illegitimate Islamist Nazi regime.
Why? We just love saying the word Nazi.
I thought we were right wingers. What are we doing here? We're not.
We just love saying the word Nazi. H group. Nazi.
What elements? What right wing is this that we're using the argument of being Nazis against people now?
Yeah. This age group, Nazi. This other group, Nazi. This other group, Nazi. What are we doing? What are we doing with this trope? I thought this trope was dead. I thought it was dead.
It's an exclusively leftist trope, except for Zionists who love to call everybody who doesn't support their beloved state a Nazi. Which, look, if we want to get into those comparisons, I hate comparisons to Nazi Germany. I think they're way overdone. They're rarely accurate. However, if we're going to do them, we need to do a serious analysis of Israel and then do a comparative analysis of it versus Nazi Germany.
Oh, yeah.
And see what we find.
Hey, guys, if you want to compare the Iraqi movements or the Irani movements or any other movements that you would label, that are doing terrible things. If you want to say they're Nazis, I want you to do something very, very simple. Look at the Israeli government and see if they qualify as being more Nazi than them. Obviously, I'm not saying it's a 1-to-1 because, I don't know very much about Nazi Germany. This guy read a book on the Third Reich, so he will be able to tell you more than I can. But just do that for me, please, and then you can talk about Islamic movements, quote unquote.
Yeah. I'm just asking you guys to do a serious comparative analysis between the policies and ideology of the State of Israel, Zionism, versus the policies and ideology of Nazi Germany. Do a serious analysis of both, then do a comparative analysis, and you're going to see a lot more similarities than you think. On a very deep level, too. Not like on a superficial level. We're like, oh, both are nationalist projects. No.
No.
Like on a real level of ideology of how they view like Jews versus Palestinians, right? You need to actually do a real analysis of this and then realize that no, the closest thing to a Nazi regime is not the Iranians here, it's the Israelis.
Real.
Now, what this argument is trying to point at, though, is he's trying to say, like, oh, the consequences of the war are going to be good for the Iranian people. Number one, that's very doubtful, considering our track record of regime change operations. It's specifically in this region, they never go well. I can't think of a single instance where they did. Secondly, this is what people need to understand. When we're talking about what counts as a just war, we're not consequentialists. This is what people need to understand. Even if the results of this war were like peace and prosperity, it would not all of a sudden become just because there was never just cause. And there probably won't be proportionality either. So you guys need to understand this.
We're not consequentialists in our virtue ethics either.
We're not consequentialists. We're not going to say, oh, well, the consequences were good, therefore it retroactively justifies the war itself. No, it doesn't, actually. There are several phases of just war theory, and they do not involve the consequences retroactively justifying a war that was never just to begin with. Okay? So this consequentialist argument is not... It fails for that reason on a moral level, but also it fails on the level of, well, this was never our war to fight in the first place.
Yeah.
This was never a duty for us to take. And actually, it's worse that we did because we don't have any, stake in that region in terms of like we don't know how the politics looks like. We don't know like how to rule over these people. People are gonna say like, oh well, after you take down the regime, you're going to have to rule over the people, which never ends well because we aren't in their region. We don't know their customs. We don't know their culture. We don't know how to rule them because they're not us. Okay?
Right.
So it would be a lot better. It's their duty to, if the conditions are as bad as everyone says they are, it's their duty to fix it. And it's better that they fix it because they know how to best govern themselves. We don't.
Truly. Truly spectacular justification that is.
Jeez. Somebody said breaking the Board of Peace launches its first war, and then somebody quoted and saying, the Pope dodged the bullet by uh, rejecting the Satanic Cabal. That's base. That's true. Because if you guys don't know, they invited Pope Leo to the Board of Peace, and he declined.
Wait, what's the Board of Peace?
Oh. Here's like the most dystopian thing. It's the most like dystopian Orwellian thing you're ever gonna hear. Okay, so the Board of Peace is an organization that purports to try. It's like Trump's new thing that he started, where he says like we're gonna try to secure peace across the world. Now, do you know who's a member?
Let me guess, Netanyahu.
Yes.
I knew it.
Uh, Along with other like warmongers and just like
Warmongers.
terrible people that should never be there, right? And this is supposed to be enforcing the peace.
Hello, Netanyahu. Did you not forget you quoted a Bible verse that discusses the killing of children and your interpretation of it, and you applied it to the Palestinians.
This is the Board of Peace member.
Dude, the Board of Peace member? And he's doing this?
Yeah, he's the Board of Peace.
Yeah. Good thing he declined. Good on him.
Yeah, that's actually based on the Pope to decline to join. Because now, if he were to start his own Board of Peace, that'd be way cooler. But
It would, because it would have religious clergy and religious guys in there that actually care about
peace,
peace.
and they'll condemn genocides when they happen.
Yeah, exactly.
Somebody said this is how far MAGA has fallen, pointing out prior illegal wars to justify the latest one. Hey Tim, Trump was supposed to be better than Clinton or Obama, remember? And we're supposed to continue destroying our country with endless wars. That was the whole sales pitch. FFS. Yeah, that's true. I mean, MAGA's dead. It's been completely taken over by these lunatic degenerates.
Yeah, it's not MAGA anymore. It's Mai and everything else go.
The existence of the State of Israel is not worth a single American life. We should not be involved in Iran. However, we are, and I will not root against my nation and our soldiers, sailors, marines, and airmen. Well, I'm not rooting against them as individuals, but what they're being asked to do and tasked with
They can fight for an unjust cause and still be individuals that...
Yeah, they're fighting for an unjust cause, but they themselves, like, they don't have a choice in this.
Yeah, they can be individuals that don't...
And so, yeah, I do hope for the best for their sake, but it remains true that what they're enacting is not going to bring about peace in the world. Let's just say that.
No, it won't. Let me check the chat real quick. Because the chat's been probably dead. So if the chat stays dead, I might get off.
I just don't
Get
know
off
how
the
you can
chat.
frame it any other way. Trump's Iran war is an utter betrayal of his base, and all the people who opposed him in 2016 and 2024 are cheering. Yeah, it's true.
Whoops. I clicked on something when I should not have.
Trump is already losing an enormous amount of support over the strikes. Americans could fracture his already fragile coalition. The only way he comes out on top in all of this is if he ends up winning spectacular and everything goes according to plan. But this is war. And war is messy. There will be many civilian casualties. Yeah, it will not.
Yeah, as unfortunate as that is.
I am predicting, and hopefully this doesn't come to pass, but I don't think we're going to be able to do this in a number of like weeks as the plan is. This is always the plan. So we always say like we're going to go into these nations, we'll be in and out in a matter of weeks, and it'll be fine. No, it won't. And hopefully it doesn't get to the point where we have to actually
Hello.
invade the place.
Do we remember Afghanistan?
Yeah.
How long were the American troops there before they left the Afghanis? Years.
Yeah. Okay. There is one more argument that I want to address because I've gone through the consequentialist ones. I've gone through the whataboutism stuff, which they only work on Democrats. By the way, they don't work on me. They don't work on anybody on the right who critiques this, and most of us do.
Yep.
So this whole idea of like, oh well, we need to attack anybody who critiques this on the grounds that, oh, you didn't oppose Obama. Well, we did.
Yeah.
We did.
did.
The Democrats didn't because they're disingenuous snakes and liars who are only opportunists, and all they really care about as of now is doing the opposite of whatever Trump does and whatever he supports. Okay, so that's a fair critique of them, but it's not a fair critique of the anti-war position at all. Now, there's one more argument I want to address, and that's this insane, ridiculous, cult-like idea called plan trusting.
Oh, good.
Now,
Lord.
for those not up to speed on what that is, I'll inform you very quickly. I'm going to try to pull up a tweet so I can read it to you. You can get the essence of it. But if I can't, just keep in mind that plan trusting is this ridiculous idea where you put blindly your faith into one man. And just hope and pray that he knows what he's doing, and it's this whole supreme leader knows best type deal. You know what I mean? I'm gonna try to find this. It's kind of difficult to find this. No, there's Dave Smith. It's just a bunch of libertarians I reposted. Here's somebody that I replied to. Alright. I'm going to keep scrolling. If I cannot find it, I will just kind of explain the position. That's Nick Fuentes.
Oh, I'm so curious about what Nick Fuentes has to say about that.
Oh, he opposes this because he says it's a war for Israel, which it is.
Base Nick, I'm not gonna lie. Base Nick Fuentes.
Oh, shoot, hold on. This isn't the argument I'm trying to get to, but it's an argument that I think I want to address here just really, really quickly. So, Joel Berry says Iran is home to one of the greatest or the fastest growing Christian populations in the world. They suffer greatly under the Islamic regime. Pray for the freedom of our persecuted brothers and sisters in Christ. Now, here's the problem, Joel Berry, with what you're saying. I'm not going to deny the validity of what you're saying. I'm not going to confirm it either because I don't know. However,
I don't know
the
either.
problem is that you are on record saying that every single Catholic who is in the Gaza Strip supports Hamas.
Oh, what?
That is the problem with what you're saying. Yeah, this guy is on record saying that every single Catholic who lives in the Gaza Strip and goes to... Because remember that Israel got into controversy because they struck a Catholic church.
Oh.
They struck the only Catholic church in the Gaza Strip. He said that every Catholic, without exception, who attends that church and in the Gaza Strip, they are Hamas supporters. Now, in the eyes of Joel Berry, being a Hamas supporter, delegitimizes your right to life. You forfeit it.
What?
It's fair. Yes. So there's multiple steps to this, right? He first says that all the Catholics in Gaza are Hamas supporters, and by Hamas supporters he means somebody who like even expresses sympathy for the Palestinian cause, which in his mind Hamas supporter equates to it means you deserve to die and we're not going to shed a tear for you.
And then you want to talk
and now you want to tell me about Christian persecution? Spare me this nonsense, man.
Chris, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something, Mr. Berry. Let me tell you something very, very clearly. Israel has destroyed a Catholic church, the only Catholic church in the Gaza Strip. Okay, and you didn't say a single thing about it other than to negate it. But let me tell you something. I mean, I'm pretty sure other countries have done this, and it's bad because they shouldn't do it. In Islam, destroying a Catholic church is impermissible. La yajuz, it is haram. One of the greatest classical scholars, who is a scholar in pretty much every single field of literature, Ibn Taymiyyah says, rahimahullah, he says that destroying a Catholic church, a church, is one of the protected buildings. You cannot destroy it. It is not permissible. You cannot do it. And yet, what do you choose to focus on? You choose to focus on Christian persecution in Iran. I don't know to the extent of that, so I'm not going to confirm or I'm not going to deny. But when it comes to Israel and their destruction of Orthodox parishes, Catholic parishes, you say, oh, well, they're just, 8 supporters anyways, and we're not going to care. What are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
I don't think this guy has any room to be talking about persecuted Christians whatsoever. He literally claims that every single Catholic in the Gaza Strip, by the way, there are children who attend that mass.
Oh, that's disgusting.
Children attend that mass. Okay, so how the hell are you going to tell me that the children are Hamas supporters? They don't even know what that is. And even if they do know the name of that, they have no idea what the implications of any of it is. They don't know what is going on at all. They're like 5 years old, bro.
All they want to do is practice their religion.
They're just there with their parents to pray. And you want to say every single Catholic, without exception, is a Hamas supporter. Then you want to turn around, and then, by the way, that means, in your eyes, they have no right to live anymore. But then you want to turn around, and then you want to say, oh, well, no, we need to care about the persecuted Christians in Iran. Well, yeah, I care about that, but I care about that consistently.
Right.
So I don't like it when your favorite state, the state of Israel, does it, and they do it more. But you don't care when your favorite state does it, which means it's not actually about Christian persecution at all. It's about what is good for Israel. How can I justify what Israel does? I'm going to use anything, grasp at straws for any freaking reason why I can support what Israel has done. That's what it's about. Okay? So... all right. Kind of scrolling here. If a business made claims about their products the way that politicians sell wars, they would be put out of business. Hold on, what does it say? If a business made claims about their products the way that politicians sell themselves to us every election, they'd be forced to pay fines, damages, and their leadership would risk imprisonment. That's so true, bro. That's true.
Yo, that's freaking based. Hold on, let me check the chat again. Bro, the chat has been consistently dead, bro.
Yeah, I'm just trying to address one more argument.
Oh my lord. Yep, no chats. Okay. The chat is just dead, bro. Your stream is dead. You gotta call it, bro. They canceled you.
That's cooked.
You gotta call the stream, bro. You gotta end it, bro. They canceled you, man. Dude, it's like that one time this Twitter guy made a freaking banger argument. I couldn't address it. He goes, "Oh, if praying at home is sufficient, then why build mosques then?"
That's so cooked.
You remember that dumb argument?
Yeah. Hold on, guys. I think I almost found it.
You almost found it? Come on, bro.
Yeah.
You're running out of time. Your paper's due in 10 minutes, and you got 10 pages to write.
Oh no. I'm cooked.
You have to do an entire exposition on the Book of Revelation, and you're going live in 10 minutes. You heard?
What? Oh,
You have
heck
to do it.
no.
Yeah, you have to do an entire exposition on it, and you're going live in 10 minutes. You got 10 minutes to prepare. So you gotta hurry this up.
Alright.
Nah, I'm just joking, guys. We're not. He's not actually doing that. I'm just joking.
Okay. I have one more idea.
Bro, we're gonna be here until. Oh, okay. All right.
We're locked in, don't worry.
Come on now.
Okay. I found more or less what I'm talking about. So
All right, go ahead.
I just typed in trust the plan into the trust the plan thing. Okay. So this sentiment is probably Steelman the best by this guy. His tweet this guy's name is like Sean Davis or something. Sometimes he says cool stuff, but I think he's just totally cooked here. So it says Trump is not an idiot and he's not a neocon. He's earned our trust.
Oh, I beg to differ.
I beg to differ on both of those counts, actually. Okay, so this is what this sentiment is essentially trying to say is that Trump has earned so much goodwill that even when he does something that appears to be completely foolish, ridiculous, and unnecessary, and no one likes it, we need to trust it as if he were our cult leader because he knows best.
No,
And
he doesn't.
no, number one, this is cult-like mentality. This is switching your brain off. This is what this is. This is like, yeah, I know that this guy leading me off the cliff, he's leading me off a cliff. This is not a good thing, but I trust him because he's built up so much goodwill in the past that I'm gonna follow him to my death. This is nonsense. This is cult-like behavior, okay?
Heaven's
And I'm gonna
Gate,
tell you, what's up?
Heaven's Gate version 2.
Like, this is insane, bro.
By the way, Heaven's Gate is a cult.
Yeah, it's a cult that they committed suicide. Yeah.
It was a mass cult. Yeah.
Look, this is the insane mentality these people get into, and the reason they get into this mentality is because they really, really want it to be true. What I mean by that is they really want Trump to be who he said he was. They really, really wish it were the case, to the point that they are willing to overlook his failures because he says nice stuff that they wish he would follow up on. Like they say this guy's our only hope for our success. So whatever he does, we need to trust it. Trust the plan. Trust the plan. No, that's cult-like mentality. And look, I kind of understand where it comes from. It is true that his movement was basically the only shot we had at reestablishing something real, like a real right-wing movement. If he really was who he said he was, that'd be awesome, right? The problem is, he's not. And you are being completely naive in thinking that, we just need to trust him. He'll follow us through. He'll save us. No, bro. He is not some like savior of America. He's not a right wing like savior. He's not. People being like, Trump is the savior of the white race. None of this is true.
Whoa, what?
Yeah, none of this is freaking true.
Yo, do you remember Mike? Do you remember the one guy in Josh's group that was would send weird messages about freaking fantasy football and all this stuff? And he would talk about Trump.
Yeah, that's the type of mentality that we're talking about.
Didn't he say Trump is like the second coming of Christ or something like that?
Something close to that, something approximating it. It's an insane,
my God,
ludicrous position. These guys think look, I understand the desire to want to have a real movement. I do, but this ain't it. Okay, and look, I am on record supporting this movement in the past. Okay, I'm not going to deny that. I made a whole stream in the election basically gloating about how it went. Okay, and the reason why is because I legitimately thought that after all the stuff that he had been put through, assassination attempts to put him in prison for insane, ridiculous amount of times on charges that weren't even coherent, ludicrous attempts at impeachment, you gotta understand, it's true that they've put this man through hell. It's also true that he's sold out. But I concluded from that first premise there that surely this would mean that he's gonna actually lock in and take things seriously. And that he's actually gonna deliver because, clearly you must be dedicated if you're still on this, if you're still trying, if you're still doing this after you've been put through hell. Well, no, silly me, it didn't follow. He sold us out several times. He is not delivering on really any of the things that he said other than shutting the border down, but he's not even delivering on mass deportations, as we went over in the last stream. And so, yeah, I understand where the sentiment of he's our only hope type arguments come from. But the problem is, he's not our only hope. We don't have hope anymore. It's over. It's over. Understand that unless like some candidate who's completely outside the system pulls up in 2028 and somehow wins, which is insanely unlikely.
All right, man.
This will not. The right in America is going to get destroyed this year and in the next 2.
Yep.
Be
Hey,
aware
man,
of this.
listen closely. Listen closely. I want to see something. Listen carefully. Just make me president. I don't know what to do.
Look. Look, I understand where this sentiment led. There's a very strong desire to have somebody who can actually lead a movement like this to success. Trump had that opportunity. He wasted
He fumbled the bag.
He fumbled the bag horribly because, and this is what people don't want to hear, but he sold out to foreign interests.
More specifically,
maybe he always
to Israeli interests.
Maybe he was always, well, not even just that, not even just to Israeli interests. He sold out to the interests of his donors.
Oh yeah,
he sold out to the interests of wealthy businessmen. That's why he hasn't gone after things like hotels and farms for his deportation rates, because his donors from those industries do not want him to touch those, and so he won't.
Yeah, obviously not, because they don't want. Yeah, okay.
So understand that this man is a complete sellout, and we lament this fact more than anyone. We do not want this to be true, but it is, and we have to live in reality. We cannot live in this cult-like belief system where, like, oh, well, what else can we do besides trust the plan? You know, even like the more moderate view of, well, what else are we supposed to do? We need to support the lesser of two evils, so we need to be team players and allow these guys to gain power.
We need to be team players? No, we don't.
No, we don't.
At all.
They have stabbed... Dude, when you do that, what you're doing is you are negotiating against yourself, to borrow a Nick Fuentes quote. And what that means is that you're making concessions before they even ask you to make concessions. You are compromising and selling yourself short because you want to support the only party that you think has your best interests at heart. They don't. It's time to allow that party to get swamped and demolished as it deserves. They deserve it for betraying their base and betraying their voters and not delivering. And you should not feel bad about it. And you're going to be like, oh, well, but like the Democrats are worse. Yeah, no one says go vote for the Democrats. They say stay out of voting. Because let them lose. Let articles of impeachment get drafted. Let him get hauled off to jail. Let all this happen because he sold us out. He does not deserve our support. And quite frankly, the fact that he went through hell and still sold us out makes it even worse. So, just be cognizant of that fact and stop supporting these organizations and parties who do not have your best interests at heart and who are going to sell you out consistently. Because it's not the first time the Republicans do this, right? They always say, like, we're not going to go into war. You know, we're going to be in and out. It'll be fine. And stuff like this always happens. So just let it burn, bro. Let it go.
Real.
Let the party die. We do not owe them anything. We do not owe them anything. They're gonna get swamped, and they deserve it. Okay. With all that being said, everybody, that's everything that I wanted to cover. Hopefully, I think I've. The situation, went through the address, went through the pro-war arguments, which are horrible. Like, I've never seen pro-war arguments be this bad.
Yeah.
We are at the point where we're showing women crying and that's an argument for why we need to do war. We're at the point where right-wingers are seriously adopting the language of, quote, women's liberation, whatever that even means,
Yeah, what does that mean? I don't know
just
what
to
that
support
means.
their war. Okay? This is ludicrous. This is absurd. And if you're still on this train, this like MAGA train of either you're literally on the side of the war, or you're the people who say, well, we got to trust the plan. He knows what he's doing. Either way, you guys are functionally identical. You guys are completely useless, and nobody wants anything to do with you. And real right-wing movements are going to move away from nonsense like this, and they have. They have. So, with all that being said, everybody, I think I went through everything and made my stance pretty clear and rebutted those awful arguments. They were horrible.
Oh man.
Horrible, horrible. So, with all that being said, everybody, I will see you guys whenever I see you guys. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. God bless.